So today I'm here at University of Brighton's prize giving ceremony. I've won 2 prizes for best performing final year business management student, and they've been sponsored by the Graduate Recruitment Bureau and Chartered Management Institute. For me, the best thing about studying at the University of Brighton is the opportunity to go out into placement year, as well as having the academics behind me. I had a real support from the placement team to go and get me a placement opportunity for a year, and I felt what set me really apart as a graduate, to say I've had that year's real work experience behind me, and then my academic results as well, and it just sets me apart from the crowd going out as a graduate into the recruitment world there. So for my placement year, I was lucky enough to go abroad for it. I worked for just over a year for a tourism company that rented out holiday accommodation. So I spent 2 summer seasons in Ibiza and a winter in between in the French Alps. I was doing sales and marketing, so mainly selling the original holidays, and then I was doing all sorts of in-resort sales. I was doing some marketing work with them, and I also, while I was there, I wrote my dissertation, and I wrote that on social media marketing and how it affects the company that I worked for. I had some really fantastic stuff. I think particularly in the final year, it really jumped out at me because that was an opportunity for me to choose my final year modules, to choose the modules that really interested me most. With that, at Brighton Uni, I think one thing that stands out is that the staff have been there and they've done it. So to have staff that talk about real practical experiences and give real examples, for me, is a huge bonus, and it really keeps me engaged. One of my favourite modules in my final year was marketing communications module. That was taken by Lydia Taylor. She has a history of marketing. She's been brand manager for major companies. So we had a fantastic, really practical module. We had the opportunity to make a marketing communications plan and present it to a local charity. So we could get that real feedback from them, but for us it was sort of a dry run of really going through a real marketing presentation. It was fantastic, and it was good to know that we had some real positive impact on a charity as well, and gave them our ideas for them to take away and use. So for a student coming to Brighton, I'd say use the tutors, although we're all here to have a really good time, the lecturers want the best from you, and you absolutely do get what you put in. If you stay behind for just a couple of minutes and you ask them some questions, or you get to know them personally and you talk about their past experience, you get so much more from it. I think you absolutely get what you put in. I think the other piece of advice I give is really go for it with the placement year. It's what sets you apart. There's a fantastic opportunity, and if nothing else, you earn a full wage for a year. If it's not for you, you know actually that's one thing that's not for me, and you still then have more knowledge of what you want to do when you finish than when you began with. If you're fortunate enough to get exactly the right job for you, you come out of that placement year inspired into your final year, thinking, really know what I want. Fired up to get some really good results. It's worked for me. I've come out of my placement year really excited, and I'm here lucky enough to be at the prize giving ceremony as a graduate now, thinking I had a fantastic placement. I knew what I wanted, and I've managed to keep sort of fired up for the final year to make that happen. Now that I've graduated, I very quickly went into applying jobs, and I'm lucky enough to land a job fairly quickly in my hometown where I'm from, in Cornwall. I'm working for a company called Cornish Mutual. They sell rural and agricultural insurance, so I'm starting to underwrite home and let property insurance for them. I find that company particularly interesting, actually, having studied a module called business strategy. It's really interesting to see how that company operate as a mutual. I have a much better understanding about how they differ from a normal, limited company or a PLC, and I can really see how that changes the way that the company works and the way that the company is orientated. So I find it really, really interesting.